everyone, my name is Bethany with Craft with Bethany, and on this week's video, I'm going to be making a huge announcement. Alright, so before I get to my big announcement, which I am so excited about, and it is literally going to blow your mind. I hope you guys get excited about it. I don't know if it'll ever come across on camera right now, just how excited I am about this next venture of mine and what I've been working so hard on behind the scenes. But before I get to that, I have some other things I'm going to talk about. First, I'm going to share some books with you, some sewing related books that I've picked up recently. If you follow me on Instagram, you know exactly which ones I'm talking about. But I wanted to give them a moment of their time here on my YouTube channel and share those with you. I'm also going to give you a little life update on the situation with the podcast, if you know what I'm talking about, our social hour podcast, and how that has led into this next chapter with this big announcement that I'm really excited to share with you guys. So, all right, lots to cover. I'm going to try to go through it as quickly as possible, answer a lot of questions that you guys have been sending me, but let's start with some fun stuff. So the first book I want to share with you is a book that I did a giveaway for over my Instagram, which has already ended, but this is for a book called Sabella Can Sew. This is actually a children's book by my friend Jackie. It is the cutest book, and it's basically, Jackie writes children's books, and it's basically the story of like her daughter showing interest in learning how to sew. Jackie sews, and the whole process of like teaching her how to sew and building her confidence and learning new things. And the illustrations are beautiful. I really love this book. I did link it in the description for you. It's such a sweet book, and at the very end, there are some coloring pages so that you and your child or the young one in your life can go color together, read about learning to sew, even if they're not quite ready, but they've been watching you sew. I think this is a great way to just let them know, like, hey, you don't have to be an adult or a mommy or a grown-up to start sewing. You can start at a younger age. I was 7 when I first started taking like serious interest and started taking classes, I think when I was 9. But I was playing around with fabric and stuff as early as like 5 years old. So you can absolutely start introducing the idea of sewing and building their, confidence and encourage them to be creative and try new things. So I definitely wanted to share this book. It just came out not that long ago. It is linked in the description below through Amazon. So go check that out. It's such a sweet book, and I'm so excited for who won it. She has a little girl, so she's gonna love sharing that with her. All right, so the second book that I have just actually released this week. It was available for pre-order, and I pre-ordered it the first day that I could, and it literally came earlier this week. It was a surprise. I'm so bad about like pre-ordering things and then forgetting about it. I actually, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I couldn't find my bank card the other day. It wasn't in my purse, and I went to pay for something over the phone that I had won in an auction, which is a whole nother story, but that's how I realized I didn't have my bank card on me while I was at work. And I was like, well, that's scary, and I can't remember the last time I used it because I have like Apple Pay and all of that. Like, I very rarely pull it out of my wallet. So I'm like, where is my bank card? So then I go to my bank account and I'm looking at recent transactions, and I'm like, well, the last time I used that bank card was through Apple Pay when I bought Chick-fil-A for lunch today, but I have another transaction since then through Amazon, and I didn't buy anything on Amazon. And you know how when you go to your Amazon orders, it has like your most recent, and like I have nothing outstanding. Like everything's been delivered, so I've paid for all of my Amazon orders. So I'm like, I don't know what this is. And it was like $22 and some change. And I'm like, that is so weird. The smart thing to do would have been to call Amazon and ask them. Instead, I panicked. I called my bank and I canceled my bank card because I couldn't figure out like what it was. And I just, I've been hacked before, and I've had someone take a small amount as like a test run to see if they could get away with it without getting flagged. And then they'll try to do like bigger amounts. And I was like, nope, I'm shutting this down. Like PTSD kicked in, and I was like, I'm not going through that again and losing all that money. I worked too hard for it. So I said, forget it. So I canceled my bank card. I get home and find my bank card in the back pocket of a pair of jeans in my laundry hamper. And I promise this story's going somewhere. And I call Amazon to figure out what that charge was, and she goes, "Oh, it looks like you pre-ordered a book about 6 weeks ago, and something about paper piecing." And I was like, "Yep, I did order that. Don't cancel that. I want that." And the very next day, it got delivered. But that just shows like Amazon should really move anything that hasn't shipped yet, including pre-orders, to the top of the list of my order list, because 6 weeks had gone by. I had ordered some stuff, okay? Like I completely forgot it wasn't at the top of my list to remind me. So I didn't know. And of course they charge you when they ship it. So with all of that being said, and having to get a whole new bank card and update all my records on all of my things, I got my book and I'm so excited about it. So this is it. It's called Paper Pieced Quilt Blocks. It's the wonderful world of paper pieced quilt blocks. 30 nature-inspired designs and beautiful sampler projects. This is by Liza Taylor. So Liza Taylor Handmade on Instagram. You need to go follow her. She's wonderful. We actually had her on the podcast and she's such a delight. And she also has a community like membership, monthly membership, and it is $10 a month, and you get a free pattern with that subscription. And you have the whole community, and they do a sew along, and then they usually throw in like another project sometimes to apply the block of the month that you've made, and they're all foundation paper piecing things. And this book, Liza did an amazing job. I'm going to do my best to kind of flip through. It's kind of hard, and I don't want to bend the binding. It's one of those books that's so pretty, you're just going to leave it out on the table. But it's got some big patterns in the back. There's 30, I think over 30 patterns in here. So you can just make copies of these. And then she even has instructions in here of how to scale them, so that you can resize the blocks to do different things. But I mean, she even teaches you how to design, like take all of these blocks and like make a quilt or a hanging or a table runner or whatever you want out of it. So she gives you a lot of really helpful information. It's all in color. It's absolutely stunning. And they're just the cutest blocks. There's just the sweetest little like flowers and bees and hummingbirds. And I mean, you really cannot go wrong. You can make a huge quilt with all the blocks in this. And so it's absolutely stunning. She actually had her quilt that inspired this whole book hanging at the Garden of Quilts for Riley Blake's Garden of Quilts. It was stunning. So anyways, she gives you a lot of inspiration, but she gives you all the patterns and instructions at the beginning. If you've never done foundation paper piecing, she walks you through that as well. So there's a great tutorial, lots of helpful information, what you need to get started. Like I said, it is gorgeous. And then she walks you through with pictures how to do foundation paper piecing. Like, it's so great. So Liza, beautiful book, beautiful job, very well done. I'm so excited about this. I could spend a lifetime making all of these over and over and over again. They're stunning. So I highly recommend you get the book. I've linked it below. It's on Amazon. So there's an Amazon storefront link down there for you for both of these books. And then I also am going to link her membership. She opens it only certain times of the year. So you got to get in when she opens it. So I'll link her Instagram and I'll link her membership website information so you can go check it out. She also sells other patterns too and has some freebies. So if you're new to foundation paper piecing, you're not sure if you want to try it out first, she's got some great freebie patterns just to get started. So I'll link all of her information below because beautiful book. She has grown tremendously. She's making a place for herself in the sewing community, and I couldn't be more proud of her. All right. So now that we've tackled the pretty books and the sweet books and everything, I want to dive into what I've been building behind the scenes. And I want to talk about why I'm taking this new venture. And that has to do with the podcast. So I've had a lot of people, follow the podcast, The Social Hour. We've been doing that podcast. September would have actually been our 2-year mark or 2-year anniversary. We would have been over 100 episodes by now, but we finished at 87. Earlier this year, back in, May, I think, we decided to take a break. I wasn't really planning to, but it's okay if that's what my co-host needed, then that's what we needed to do. And I was fine with that. And it actually ended up being a good thing because, as you know, if you follow me on Instagram, my son graduated high school, then we had college orientation, then he turned 18, then I changed jobs, and so my world got turned upside down as well. And then I sent him off to college, and it has just been a very whirlwind few months and getting through the summer. So I think it was like a blessing in disguise that we like took a break. But my understanding was that we would pick up kind of where we left off, or decide if we wanted to, and reconvene after summer. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And I know that disappoints a lot of you. Trust me, I'm just as disappointed, because I really love doing the podcast. It was a passion project of mine. I spent a lot of time on it. I loved connecting with all of our guests. I love connecting with our listeners, getting your feedback, and seeing you tune in every week and share it meant a lot to me. I also put a lot of money behind the podcast. I was paying for all of the subscriptions every month that go into running a podcast. It's not cheap. So hundreds of dollars a month that I was paying for it all. We had, I thought about, okay, well, if that's not something my co-host wants to keep doing, that's fine. Maybe I can try to do it myself. And I was open to that because I still really loved it. But I wouldn't have been able to do it full time, as in like an episode every week, because it's a lot of work, and working full time outside of the house now really created like very limited time to do it. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I can just scale it back, because I wasn't quite ready to give it up yet. I was ready to keep going. But then I discovered that our whole website had been deleted, which I did not know. So all of that hard work and all of that content is gone. And it really just broke my heart. I don't know why. I don't know why things just stopped or were deleted or shut down. That is a conversation that clearly isn't going to happen. And that breaks my heart as well. And again, at the end of the day, I've had to come to terms with the fact that I can't control how other people choose to behave. I can only control how I respond. So that's why I haven't really talked about it, because I needed to take some time to process. I needed some time to be hurt and sad and angry and disappointed and all the emotions. And this is going to be the only time I'm going to talk about it, because I still don't have closure and I still don't have answers. And I may never get them, but I can't sit here and wait for that. Like, it's not going to change anything. And I thought about, well, maybe I could keep working on the podcast, but the amount of time I would have to spend in rebuilding everything that was deleted, I just decided it's kind of got like this negative cloud over it now. And I hate that, because I absolutely loved connecting with you guys and the impact it had in the sewing community. And I knew we could do so much more with it. And I had some big plans in line for that. Some fun things coming up. And that's just not, and I had to like mourn like losing that, right? Because it was a shock. And it still breaks my heart. But it is what it is. And I've decided that so I've kind of canceled everything. I've been paying for all these subscriptions this whole time thinking we would pick it back up. And that's obviously not going to happen. So I've canceled all the subscriptions. I'll never get any of that money back, and that's okay, because I can only do what I can do moving forward. I've released that. And I'm taking that money and that time and putting it into something that is solely mine, something that I can create myself, that is my purpose, is my drive and calling, something I think is actually going to benefit the sewing community even more than the podcast ever could. And what I mean by that is the podcast was great to connect with you guys, but I feel like our craft is a very visual craft. Like, if I were to try to explain something on the podcast, I had to be very descriptive, because you're just listening to it unless you happen to watch the YouTube video. But like, even just talking about patterns and everything, it was hard for you guys to know what we were talking about or visualize what we're talking about without seeing it. And so to be able to explain like sewing techniques or how to fix something or different tools or different patterns or people submitting photos, it created a challenge. And I thought, okay, how can we like overcome that? Like, how can I overcome that challenge to be the support system that I want to be for you all, but also at the same time be able to visually show you what I'm talking about. So we're doing away with the podcast, or I'm doing away with the podcast, and I am starting something completely new. And I have spent the past several weeks curating this, building this. I'm so excited, and it officially launches today. So if you're watching this video the day that it came out, it is live, and it is linked in the description below, which is my brand new website, craftwithbethany.com. So pretty easy to remember, and just know that this is my first time building a complete website like this. I've done some other things in the past and blogs, but this was like a whole thing. And I did so much research to figure out which platform was going to be the right fit for tackling all the different things I wanted to include in my website, as well as grow with me. So this truly is my baby. It is still a work in progress. You'll probably see some things changing over the coming weeks and months as it gets better and better. And I get some new photography done and those kind of things. And as I add more content, I may change the format of that page for the content if I want something a little more clean line. I don't know. It's all work in progress, but I want to kind of talk you through some of the key features of this website that are already live and available to you. But this is the homepage, and you do get a little pop-up for a newsletter. You're going to want to subscribe to that because I'm going to have free project tutorials. When a new video here on YouTube comes out, like a tutorial or something, I want to share that with you, but you'll understand more why you want to be a part of that newsletter in a second. But there is a whole blog that's going to have like different types of content. So it could be tips on cleaning your machine. It could be things happening in the industry that you may not know about, because I'm so connected with the sewing industry that I love to share any insights I can or what's coming, new technology, new product launches, like all that kind of fun stuff. You're also going to get in that Learn to Sew category of the blog free projects that I've written with tutorials that you can download and save free. And then there's a link to my video tutorials. So I'll start uploading and linking my YouTube videos there as well. There is a category called Brands I Love. These are brands that I've worked with directly on different capacities. It could be content, it could be doing expos, it could be as a consultant advising on something within their business, and they're all sewing related. So you'll see their logos and their kind of like review of like having worked with me. It's kind of something different, but they're brands that I love. I'll link their products if you ever want to go check them out. This will continue to grow, but I'm really grateful that these brands that I've reached out to initially were so supportive and appreciative of the work and the impact I've had on their businesses, that they were able to provide some great like feedback on that, and that meant a lot to me. There's a store page. The store page is basically where you can get some fun merch that's sewing themed. Everything from mugs and shirts to coasters and notebooks and stickers. And I've started with one design theme so far. I will be adding more, and we'll be doing some launches for new merch. But if you have any ideas of things that you would like to see in the store, please let me know. I love doing digital art and I love designing stuff. That's why I have this iPad. I do a lot of digital drawing. And so I would love to continue to grow that. But I've got one up there now. You've already seen it on my Instagram, so now it's officially available. And then the last thing that I really want to highlight on my website is the Sew With Me category. And this is the one that's directly going to impact those who were following along with our Social Hour podcast, because this is how I'm going to take what we were doing and supporting the sewing community and level it up. All right, so you ready for this? So under the Sew With Me category, the first thing that I'm listing here is all of the events, places I'm going to be teaching, doing classes, doing retreats, doing summits and expos. All of that's going to be on there. So you're going to want to check that. And of course, I'll share those as they come up and become available through that newsletter as well. So if you're ever where I'm going to be, and I'm going to be traveling and doing different events. So it doesn't have to be just here in Nashville. And not even just in the United States. Let's just put it that way. If you go to the events tab and scroll to the bottom of the events tab, there is a summit that I'm doing that is not in the United States. And I have not shared that publicly with anybody yet. So if you want to go see what I'm talking about and see where I'm traveling in the world for that one, I am so excited about that one. All right, so events, and then the services. Okay, so there's 3 different services I'm going to be offering to start out. The first one is truly like the one I'm most excited about, and I think you guys are going to love. And it's a sewing help hotline. Yes, I literally created a toll-free hotline. It's 1-833-LETS-SEW. I'll link it below. I'll put the number across the screen here, 1-833-LETS-SEW. It is a free, toll-free hotline. You call, you'll hear my little message, and you can leave a voicemail with your sewing question. It could be about your machine, about a project, about a technique, anything. Threads and fabrics and needles, oh my, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, leave me a voicemail, detailed voicemail, and then I will get your voicemail and then I will prepare a response. But this time, instead of just listening to my response through the podcast, because that wasn't very conducive, especially in answering specific questions, I'm going to take some time to record a video response. That video response is going to get posted to my YouTube channel, so be sure you're subscribed here so you can see the video response to your question, and I will respond and post them in the order that I receive the voicemails. So I already have my first voicemail because my friend Jennifer tested out my system for me. She goes, can I actually leave a voicemail? I have a legit zipper question. I'm trying to tackle this zipper in a garment and I've never done that before. And I would really appreciate your help. And I'm like, absolutely. So she left me a voicemail, and that's going to be my first video when I start posting those next week. So I'm really excited about that. And with getting your questions, it's going to let me know what you guys need to know or want to learn and help me make sure that the content that I'm sharing here on my YouTube channel that you're subscribed to and you want to see is actually tailored to what you need. So you'll get to hear your voicemail in the video. So let's say, for example, Jennifer asked me a question about zippers. So I start recording the video in a response to her. And I'm like, hey, Jennifer left a question on the hotline. Let's see what she has to say. And you will actually hear Jennifer's voicemail, which is super exciting. And then after we listen to her voicemail with her question, then we can answer it. And I'll share with you my answer and my tips in a video form so I can walk you through the steps of solving whatever the problem is. Now, if you do ask me a question for something that I don't know and I can't figure it out, I am so well connected in the sewing community that I'm sure there's someone that I'm close with that I can go, hey, you're more of an expert in XYZ than I am. I have some ideas here of how this can help, but I would really love your input and have those people be guests on a video to help give you the answers and the support that you need. Because I know a lot. I mean, I've been sewing for 33 years and I've been professionally trained. But, there's going to be some things that I may not know. And so I may be pulling in some experts in my community in those different areas or niches that can also help you. So it may not always be me answering their questions or completely answering your questions. I may phone a friend. All right. So that's really exciting. I hope you guys are excited about the hotline. I mean, it's a free service to you. It's going to help me create content that is exactly what you need. And I hope you take advantage of it. Leave me the voicemails, and just know that I will answer them and post them here on my YouTube channel so you can check them out and get the help that you need and watch them. Now, that being said, it may take a little time for me to respond, especially as volume builds up, and I'm going to try to keep up with them and do multiple throughout the week if I can. And so with that being said, if you do need more one-on-one help or help sooner than waiting for the response through the hotline, then one thing that you can do is book a one-on-one sewing session with me. So there's 2 options here. So we have the hotline, and then we have 2 options for a one-on-one sewing session. We have a 30-minute session if you just need some quick help with understanding a few things on a pattern you're working on and it's got stuff you've never done before, right? Like say Jennifer's zipper. Or you can do a 1-hour session, and if we need to do more time, we can accommodate that as well. But you can book those sessions and book them on my calendar right from my website. So it'll show my availability and we'll get you set up to meet via Zoom. And do a one-on-one sewing session. So this is some of the part that I'm really excited about because of my new website. It's going to allow me to help you directly. It's going to let me connect with you directly through the hotline or through a sewing session, and really feel like I'm having even a stronger impact on your sewing journey, which is my biggest passion. And be able to speak to you directly, I think is going to be really exciting. So I hope you guys are pumped about this. I am so excited. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm actually really proud of this website. If you know me at all, you know my ADHD does not let me sit in front of a computer for hours on end. I have to be up and moving. I sat in front of my computer for days. And then in the evening, as soon as I got home and I've got a headache and I just want to sit and chill and crochet or sew or watch a movie, I've got my laptop and I'm trying to figure out the next thing. And it's like I'm chipping away. I have chatted with Squarespace and GoDaddy more than I'd like to admit. But we've got it all figured out and working, and I did it all by myself, and I'm really proud of that. I mean, there's everything in here. There's video content, there's tutorials, there's blogs, there's brands, there's a storefront, there's a newsletter, there's an about me page, there's a sew with me page, there's booking appointments with me. I'm just super pumped. Now, if you're a brand watching this and you're a part of the sewing community or want to be a part of the sewing community to some capacity and you want to work together, my contact information is on my website as well. I'd love to connect with you and have you represented here on this website as well. So anyways, with that being said, some doors have to close, but sometimes that leads to some doors that are really the ones that you should be walking through and really exciting. And I truly feel like this idea of the hotline came to me so clearly. It felt like a slap across the face, like, this is what you need to do. And then I just couldn't get it out of my head. Like at first I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, yeah, well, I mean, I guess I don't know how to do that, but maybe. And then I would kind of like go a couple of days and then it would pop up in my head again. I'm like, this is not going away. And I feel like it's God's way of just kind of scratching at my mind going, hey, knock, knock, like, don't forget, this is where I want you to go. This is what I want you to do. And there's been very few people in my very tight inner circle that I trust that I ran it by. I can say outside of my fiance, there's maybe 5 people I've talked to about this. And they have all said, like, this is perfect. This is what we need. This is who we would want to call for help. Like, we want to phone a friend. And you guys send me DMs on my Instagram all the time. And hey, I watched your video on how to clean my serger, but do you have one on how to clean your sewing machine? I'm like, hold please. Here you go. Like, I have so much content. It may not all live on my YouTube channel because I've done so much content for like Singer and everything else, but I will find it for you and I will help you. I love helping you. It is the highlight of my day when someone messages me and says, I just watched your video and cleaned my serger, but now I need tips on my sewing machine. Here you go. So again, I want to support you guys in any way that I can. I feel like it's my calling. It's my passion. Clearly, these things have been put in my heart and in my mind to create. And I've tried to tackle some websites before. It's never gone this smoothly and come together so beautifully. And I'm so proud of it that I'm excited to share it with you. Like I'm very confident in it. So, yeah, I'm just super pumped. I'm super pumped. And I just feel like all of this is kind of falling into place because this is exactly what I needed to be doing and where I need to be going. So with that being said, go check out my website, linked in the description. It's also going across the screen here, craftwithbethany.com. Also, call the hotline, the sewing help hotline. It's 1-833-LETS-SEW. Leave me a voicemail. Even if you don't have a question right now, I'd love to hear from you. I want to hear how excited you are about this website and all these new things I'm offering the sewing community to help you guys out, especially the hotline and the one-on-one sewing sessions. I want to spend some time with you all. Now, I will say one thing that I do want to grow into is doing like group classes via Zoom. because I can only teach so many classes in person, and I would love to do more in-person teaching. So if you're a sewing shop or quilt shop or expo or event or whatever, and you need some teachers, let me know. I love teaching in person. It fills my cup, but I want to be able to talk to all of you. So maybe we'll start setting up in the future some group Zoom classes for special projects or techniques where we can do it together in small group form, and we'll start adding those to the site. So there is so much more to come. I have so many more ideas, but I feel like I just needed to kind of check a few of these boxes and get it out there. So you can support me by leaving a voicemail on the hotline. That is free. You can support me by booking a one-on-one session. You can support me by purchasing something from my merch shop. You can support me by, there's a little coffee thing on my under services where you can like buy me a coffee, and it's kind of like a little tip thing if I've ever helped you out or you've gained some, some knowledge and help through my content and my videos. That's a way to help me out, so that I can continue to do this. The more time I can spend on this, the more I can give back to you guys. And that's my goal. So anyways, with that being said, I love you all. Thank you for being a part of my sewing community and my sewing corner here. Share this with your sewing friends. Let them know about the hotline. It is live now. You can leave me a voicemail today. It's open 24/7. I will get your voicemails. It is a one-way call, so you're going to call, leave a voicemail, and that's it. If I do need help with understanding your question, I can always give you a call back directly. But everything goes straight to voicemail. Leave me as much information as possible so I can help you with your sewing questions and issues or wanting to learn something new specifically. And then I will create those videos so that you can do just that. All right. Well, go check out the website. I'm so excited. Go get these books. And I hope this helps you get excited about the new things that I'm going to be doing in the community now that the podcast has come to an end officially. And I think this is going to be great. I think this is exactly where I need to be. And hopefully you'll come along on this journey with me, and we'll share and learn some fun things together. And so, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Be sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, and go check out my website. All right, guys. See you soon. Happy sewing.